So the orphan relative visa has been granted. First off, a massive congratulations. This is, well, it's a huge moment, and I bet you have a million questions about what comes next. In this explainer, we're going to walk through everything you need to know so you can feel totally ready for the big journey to Australia. You've got the visa, and that means a whole new life in Australia is about to begin. Let's really walk through this together. You can think of this as your personal guide, right? We're going to cover everything from getting ready for the flight all the way to understanding your rights and the amazing opportunities waiting for you in Australia. It's a big, big step for sure, but you're not doing it alone. So let's dive right in. Okay, so let's start with part 1, preparing for arrival. These are your first really important steps towards Australia. All right, let's go through your pre-arrival checklist. This is super important. First up, step 1, check those travel documents. Make absolutely sure the child's passport and visa are both valid for the trip, okay? Step 2, note the first entry date. Now, this one is critical. Look at the visa grant letter, find that date, and you must make sure the child arrives in Australia before that date. And finally, step 3, prepare for the border. When you land, you'll need to fill out an incoming passenger card. It's just a standard form everyone does, nothing to worry about. Here's a little pro tip for you, just to make things a bit smoother at the airport. If the child is 16 years old or over, they might be able to use the Smart Gate system. Basically, it's an automated gate that uses facial recognition and an e-passport, and it can really speed up the whole process of getting through the border. Just a nice little shortcut to make that arrival a bit easier. All right, on to part 2, your rights and support. This is all about staying safe and knowing how to get help in your new home. This stuff is so important for making sure the child feels safe, secure, and looked after. Okay, I really want you to listen to this one. It's a direct quote from the Department of Home Affairs. Your sponsor cannot cancel your visa, withdraw, or otherwise influence your residency status in Australia. Let that sink in. This visa belongs to the child and only the child. No one, not even a sponsor, can take it away or mess with their residency. It's about providing real security and independence. And that security is backed by a whole network of support. As you can see here, help is always available. You've got Kids Helpline for confidential chats, Lifeline, 1-800-RESPECT, and specialized support from places like the Salvation Army and Life Without Barriers. Even the Australian Federal Police. Help is always just a phone call away. Seriously, this might be a good time to pause and just save these numbers in a phone. You know, you hope you'll never need them, but it's so important to know they exist and they're there for you. And for any immediate emergency, if you or someone else is in danger and it's happening right now, the number you need to know is 000. That's 000. This is the number for police, fire, and ambulance services, and it works anywhere in Australia. Out of all the numbers, this is the one everyone absolutely has to remember. So we've been saying permanent visa a lot, but what does that actually mean? Well, it's pretty simple and it's amazing. It means the child can stay in Australia indefinitely, like forever. They get to live, work, and study here just like any other permanent resident. It's really the foundation for a stable, secure new life. Okay, next up, part 3, living as a resident. So, with all these incredible rights and freedoms come a few responsibilities. Let's get into the practical, day-to-day stuff of living in Australia. The main responsibility is pretty straightforward. As a permanent resident, the child has to obey all Australian laws. Simple as that. Same rules for everyone. There might also be some specific conditions attached to the visa itself, and you can easily check those anytime you want using a free online service called Vivo. That's VEVO, the Visa Entitlement Verification Online System. It's super handy. Another really important thing is to keep your details up to date with the Department of Home Affairs. You know, if there are any big life changes, things like getting a new passport or a legal change of name, or even way down the road if they have a child of their own, you just got to let the department know so all the official records stay correct. It's just good housekeeping. Now, what about travel? This is a great perk. The visa comes with a 5-year travel facility. So what's that? It means for the first 5 years, starting from the day the visa was granted, the child can travel in and out of Australia as many times as they want. Total freedom to come and go. So you might be asking, okay, what happens after those 5 years are up? Good question. When it comes to international travel, you've basically got 2 main paths. The first is to get a resident return visa, or an RRV. That just lets you keep traveling as a permanent resident. The other option, of course, is to become an Australian citizen, and if you do that, you don't need a visa to come home to Australia. Ever. Okay, last section, part 4, your future in Australia. this is the exciting part. We're talking about all the opportunities for work, study, and even citizenship. Because this visa isn't just about a place to live, right? It's about building a whole future here. Right from day one, the child has the full right to work and study in Australia. And this is really important. They are totally protected by Australian workplace laws. That means they're guaranteed fair pay and safe working conditions, exactly the same as any other worker in the country, no exceptions. And thinking long term, let's talk about the path to citizenship. Here is a super important detail to remember. For citizenship purposes, the clock on their permanent residency starts ticking on the day they first enter Australia with this visa. So that very first step they take on Australian soil, that's day one. That's the official start. A pretty amazing milestone to remember, right? And that's it. We've covered the main points. The visa is granted, and this incredible new life in Australia is just waiting to begin. All that hard work, all the waiting, it's all led right to this moment. So I guess the only question left to ask is the most exciting one of all. What will be the very first chapter in your Australian story? A very, very warm welcome.